and fix it for you.
Okay. You have to come to Pennsylvania.
Right there.
Oh, okay. Rats.
Mine's got 3 screens.
Oh,
You're up to 3?
Nancy's iPad.
Yeah, I'm on it.
Better, has to be better.
That's right. It's always a competition.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Is that Martha?
Expand your page. If you're on a Chromebook, expand your page and you'll only have 2. I know that is so ironic that I'm giving you computer advice.
Dang, you're right. I didn't realize that. That's because I'm trying to check my email at the same time.
So I'm going to give it a few more minutes for people to get in.
That's hilarious, actually.
Does Sarah, does everybody understand that they're being vetted to serve as subs?
Oh, Lord.
Don't laugh.
Only for Elizabeth.
Don't laugh.
I'd love to.
It would be a fun year if you're subbing. Never a dull moment.
Sure.
You're coming to us from Pennsylvania, right? Ed is coming to us from Pennsylvania.
Yes,
right?
yes, I am. I'm at Clayton's.
Yeah, we just
We
Jordan,
just had quite an afternoon. I
ahead
picked up the girls and we came here to meet the boys when they got off the bus, but I didn't have a key to the house. So that was fun.
What'd you do?
Pat, are your grandchildren all in school? Like,
They, all except the little one are all at St. Pat's.
I love to see that.
oh, name for you?
Appropriate. Pat, we got to see Jordan last night on
Yes.
Zoom.
I know.
Doug and Bingle and I did, and she looked wonderful.
Oh, she
Oh,
looked
thanks.
terrific.
I'm so glad she did that.
Yeah, me
Said
too.
you
And
encouraged her.
I started to, but I thought, no, they just want to talk to each other.
They had a
Oh,
good
they would have
time.
loved having you.
Well,
And
maybe they'll do
Deanna,
it again.
is Deanna still?
interrupting mother.
What?
I said, that didn't hold me back. I was the interrupting mother.
Oh,
You were great. They loved having you there.
Hey, Deanna, is this Colin's second season on that show?
Yes, it is.
That's so exciting. I never watched it, but now I will.
Well, don't trouble yourself, Bingle.
It is a good show. It's a lot of fun.
Everybody be glad that he's employed.
Delighted. I like the show.
Deanna, is it Outer Banks?
Yes,
Yeah.
it is Outer Banks.
Outer Banks.
Well, my oldest son loved that show.
That's
And actually, the
great.
writers of the show are my sister's nephews.
Oh.
Oh.
So,
Ah.
I think it's great for the target audience.
the Kate brothers.
Yeah, yeah.
Banks.
Hey, Kathy.
Colin is in.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey,
wow.
Eileen, we want to see you. Say hi.
Kathy.
Push that funny button in the corner of the screen.
Kathy.
Yes.
Hi, Jody.
All right, ladies and gents,
Hey, Kathy.
I'm going to get started because I want to be mindful of everybody's time, and I'll just continue to let people in. And I know that most of you are far more mature than me and have a lot more seniority, than me.
Sarah, did you mean old by that?
No,
Senior?
no, I'm choosing my words super carefully because y'all are educators. So what I'm saying is y'all are more mature, you're wiser, you have a lot more experience, but for this moment, I'm going to be in charge. But just a moment. No, I really want to say this is an amazing showing of current faculty and staff and former faculty and staff. And I'm thrilled that y'all would get together to celebrate Summit's birthday. I think we could never lose sight of the fact that folks like you really made the school the place that it is. And so we want to have this event every year, or at least every other year, and we would love to have it in person, and that's just not an option, as we all know right now. The class of 1990 got together last night, and I tell you what, I could just cry thinking about all the sweet things they said to each other and about the school. And so I think that's the kind of emotion that we'll have for the rest of the week. But the quick things that I want to say are welcome to the newest members of the 15-year plus, and they are Brad Calhoun, who couldn't join us, Misty Hyman, who could not join us, Joy Contos, Betsy McNair present, Dak Stackhouse present, Jody Turner. So hats off to you guys. And I'll preface this with, despite her amazing education of a database, if we've missed anybody, Jan Shepard taught me well, but if you know that someone who has that did teach here 15 years or more and we're not including them in this invite, please let me know, because it's really a function of our database and my ability to navigate it. So welcome to all of you guys. A couple things that I want to mention is we're gonna, Charlie Levitt has published and released as of today a brand new book. So when I finish talking, I'm gonna toss out some trivia questions. And if you guys feel comfortable using the chat, the person who can answer the questions correctly is going to win a copy of Charlie's book, Escaping Dreamland. That's my gift to you guys. And the only other thing I want to say related to being staff faculty, Doug knows about this, Bingle knows about this, Sandra knows about this. There was a really amazing and generous gift made to Summit this year by way of an alum. And here I'll get all emotional again. He was class of 1963, and Doug could probably share a lot more about this man's experience, this young student, grown man's experience at Summit. But the reason I wanted you guys to know is I really feel that the sentiment behind his leaving basically his estate to Summit School had a lot to do with how he was treated at Summit and what his experience was like as a student. And it's fair to say it may become the largest gift in the history of the school, and I just felt like you needed to hear that because you are the history, and you needed to know that kind of emotion exists when people are thinking about Summit with a philanthropic gift. So I wanted you to know that. The other things I wanted you to know, or I thought you might want to know, and I asked a couple people to help out here, is I thought you would like to know what it's like to be at Summit today. And I asked Dwayne if he would talk a little bit about what his group, his department has done to make the campus available and accessible to us. And then I asked Jan Stanifer if she would talk a little bit about what it's like to be a teacher in this new, now normal world of teaching. And then Henry's going to talk a little bit about technology and some of the things that he did to adapt, help teachers adapt for the school year. So I'd like to turn it over to them, but very quickly. The questions you're going to answer to win a copy of Charlie's book. How many students came to Summit on September 26, 1933? Number of students in the first class. What time of day did those students come to school? And what was the first class they attended? Jeff Turner, if you cheat, I will never forgive you. Number of students, time of day, and the first class that they attended. So if y'all would just put in the chat, if somebody gets all three right, they may win the book. If somebody gets a fair guess and gets close to any of them, I will do it randomly so that it's fair and equitable. So if I could turn to Dwayne and say, Dwayne, would you please tell everybody how awesome it is on Summit's campus and all the things you've done to make us happy and germ-free?
Well, I tell you what, it's on one level, it's very different, but on another level, it's just like it always is. Children laughing, dancing, having a great time, smiling, even though we can't see their mouths. You know, they're just excited to be next to their peers. and being in class and being instructed. It's a joy to be here right now. And it was worth every bit of the effort and anxiety we went through for months to prepare for this, particularly being told that we couldn't do it. We did a few unique things. There's about 10 tents all around the campus where teachers go outside to have classes. There are chairs under them. We've got umbrellas and shade screens up. We've got outdoor sinks for people to wash hands and PlayStations, like at the playground and ball fields. We've got social distancing markers on floors and doors to keep people oriented and in directions. There was a lot of behind the scenes items, things about cleaning, ventilation that went on just to assure everybody that everything was going to be done to mitigate the chance of spread that you just don't see. But at this point, we've only had one case of the virus that wasn't gotten here on campus. And so we're feeling really good about all the measures we took to have school on campus.
Fantastic. It's just
Great
great.
for you. I
Yay.
don't know if you can hear us anyway.
Henry, would you talk about technology?
Sure. So I think one of the things that Dwayne is being very humble about, which he always has been, but I don't know if you're not on campus, you wouldn't realize that I'm hearing somebody's mic. Anyway, close to 50, and you can correct me, Dwayne, if I'm wrong, but close to 50 teachers had to move this year to make this work. You think about the work that it takes those guys to move 5 or 6 classrooms every summer, and they had to relocate 50 and or more, and that was a huge undertaking. Something that I was involved in was, and of course Chris and his whole crew was we had to re-outfit those classrooms, not only moving the teachers' computers and associated items in the classroom, but we had to figure out a way to bring those COVID-related or COVID-affected students into school. Something that, like Dwayne said, people said you couldn't do it effectively, and so it was quite a job. But we've got currently, as of today, we have 53 teaching spaces with synchronous webcams, and close to that amount of students at home, not just distance learning, but what I would call, and what I think we've used several times, relationship-based learning. Those kids are part of the class, and I think that the design of it was nothing more than a webcam and some associated wiring that went with it, and some pretty sharp software, and guys like Chris and Josh that were able to make our existing infrastructure work for it. But I've been in some of those classrooms. I had a student hybrid myself, and it is pretty amazing to watch them after the first couple days, and of course after being at home for 3 months last semester, having them back, having the students back in the classrooms, and those students that couldn't join us, I've spoken with several of them, and they all feel like they're part of the class. And that's a huge testament to not only the work that went into it, but the teachers. I mean, they have done things that just stunning, amazing things in the room. And there's no textbook on this. It's so Summit. It really is. it's so Summit what these teachers have been able to do, writing the textbook as we go and doing great work. So I'm proud to be a part of it, but I'm just so excited that Summit continues to do what it does.
That's great.
Hey.
Sarah, you're muted, Sarah. There you go.
Thanks, Henry. Hey, Jan, would you talk a little bit about the teaching experience? And the reason I singled out Henry, Dwayne, and Jan is they have some of the most senior years of service to Summit, so I picked on them.
Hey, Sarah, before we move on, could we remind everybody to mute their phone unless you're talking? Mute your phone so we don't get all this background noise.
Good idea.
So Jan's always going to be in charge, you see.
Like how you mute this.
Oh, gosh, I don't know if it's good or bad.
Well, I just want to say about Henry and Dwayne, they are two heroes among many that performed heroic deeds this summer, from Flick in the cafeteria to Dwayne in the with the facilities, with Henry with technology, with our medical advisory board, with our administrators. I mean, it took unbelievable effort and time. And not only has it been a start that's very different, it also was a summer that was very different to get ready to do the most exciting thing that I get to talk about, and that's welcoming the students back on campus. As I watched you all see and greet each other, it reminded me of the first week of school, and I was out at carpool duty, and the students were doing just what you were doing. Hi, so-and-so, hi, Mrs., hi, Mr. And they were just so excited, and the energy was just unbelievable. And that's what everyone had worked so hard to get ready for, because that's Summit, welcoming the students on campus, greeting them. And even though we had masks on, you could see the sparkles in their eyes and the smiles. You can just see it. You learn after a while what a smile under a face mask looks like. We do. And it was just wonderful to greet them. It was wonderful to be able to start our children being able to learn on campus, and our hybrid students who are learning at home. And just like every year at Summit, we started with building community. And it's the community that's allowed us to all be here, but it's building those classroom communities, students being able to learn with peers and teachers that they trust and respect and get to know. Yes, we have Fred. Henry named our remote learning device Fred, and Henry, you'll have to tell them what that means in a minute. But welcomed them by Fred. I was in a classroom the other day, and the teacher and the students were interacting with the hybrid students. And then they partnered up, and the hybrid students partnered with another student, and they took their cameras aside and they were able to interact and share. One of the greatest joys I have that I haven't been able to do is really cuddle up with a good book next to a student. Yes, we're 6 feet apart, we're masking, and we're washing in and washing out. And we do that every day, all the time, just to provide a safe environment that we can continue to thrive. But it's worth every minute of it for our kids to be here with us, just to see them and learn with them. I get to read 6 feet apart with a child, and it's interesting how you can still enjoy a book together. You can still talk and think and reason together. I had a hybrid student that I was reading with, and you could just see the light and the energy in her eyes and the enthusiasm as she read the book to me. So yes, many things have changed. Is it what we'd wish for our students today? No. Is it what we wish for ourselves? No. But under the circumstances, our children are doing well, and Summit's doing well. We're doing it the Summit way. We're able to be on campus, to build community, to be alongside of each other. And I'll say something that's not my own, but it goes something like, we may be 6 feet apart, but we're still together. We're still a community, and it's the Summit way. And we miss those of you. I have to say, I love seeing everybody's faces. Those of you that aren't on campus, I love seeing you. But those of you that I see every day on campus, I finally get to see many of you without your masks, and that's a pleasure too. So yes, it's different, but I agree with Dwayne, it's much the same. If you as you know, if you're on campus and it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon or 5 like it is now, and the halls are quiet and the playground's quiet, and you come in the summer, it's just not Summit. So when we could welcome those kids back either by hybrid or in person, the lights and the halls lit up and the Summit community became alive. And that's what we've all been waiting for since March, to have that joy and energy back on campus. So when you walk, if you walked on campus, you'd see us washing in and out. You'd see wash stands everywhere, tents, students under trees and on benches. Everyone, Dwayne, Henry, everybody's done a great job to make that happen. So it's a joy.
Okay, thanks for my 3 volunteers. Before we move to just conversation and camaraderie, I want you to know that 2 people are getting close to winning Escaping Dreamland, but not too late to enter. Number of students, time they started, and their first class.
Okay.
Number of students,
Your questions?
time they started, first class.
Class, how many
So now,
time of day,
Okay.
but you
have
have
to
to
Sarah.
send it.
yeah, with 30 people on Zoom, does any former faculty staff who doesn't come to campus daily want to ask a question? And if so, there are lots of folks that are on campus that would love to answer your question.
Sarah, I do think we should ask Doug to tell the story of Mr. Chandler. It's too good a story for them not to hear.
Oh,
I didn't understand. I'm sorry.
So Doug,
could you repeat the question?
yes. So I announced to the group, because I thought it was really important, that faculty staff know of George Chandler's gift.
Okay.
And Sandra asked if you would say a few words about him
Yeah.
and his reason maybe for recognizing Summit.
George Chandler was in about 3rd grade when I came to Summit, and he graduated in '63. So I'm not sure I can do this.
I can pick up a little.
Had a birth defect, or at least from a very young age, and it was difficult for him to move. It was difficult for him to speak. And it was difficult for him to learn. But as Sarah reported to me, it turns out that this little boy went on to quite a long life. Much of it on his own, and although he has honored Summit with this huge gift, it really is an honor to his parents and his teachers. He never did well in class, but he never was angry. He was always happy as he could be. Everybody knew him. The school was small. His kindergarten teacher, Martha Christian, would have seen him every day because the school was all in one building. It didn't have a gym even, and it was just all connected. And it was inevitable that all the staff who had had George watched as he grew his way through Summit. After his father worked at Reynolds, and he himself, his father, was physically handicapped, not severely, but that must have given him, and George was his only child with his wife, who was a sweet woman, but it was the father, Dear George, helped him undoubtedly get a job eventually at Reynolds. I won't give away the stories that may come out about him, but he enjoyed his work there and lived obviously frugally. He was very active at Centenary Methodist Church, at ushering. It's an incredible honor. He liked that church so much. Maybe they got millions too. I have no idea, but for him to have remembered Summit so fondly and generously, just obviously touches me. And it makes me remember all the early teachers. I wish they all could know of this gift.
You want Sandra to finish?
And
Yeah.
I think that's exactly what is the part of Summit that will never, ever change. The gift of those teachers who gave not just what they knew, but who they were. And listen to these people today who've talked to us. It's the very same thing. These teachers are as excited about learning as any child could ever be. And that's the magic. That's what happens over and over. One of the things that I think the Chandlers would say, and I didn't know them, they were there obviously before I came in '67, but in talks with his classmates, the thing they remember is how kind everybody was to him and to each other. The kindness that let him be a person and grow and thrive. Yes, he almost failed every academic subject, but he made A's in deportment, A's in behavior, and he became just the kind of person we love.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, Doug. I think it's so important for all of us to remember why we're there. And there's story after story of children with little chinks along the way who find themselves at Summit thanks to these wonderful teachers who surround us now and who surrounded us then. And that's thanks to you, Doug. So much of it.
Well, it certainly has made our life rich.
Well, last night at the class,
Seeing all these people. Go ahead.
I just wanted to pay a compliment to Doug last night at the class of 1990 reunion. Someone said, "Thank you, Mr. Lewis, for hiring all of those great teachers. And thank you,
Who was
Mrs.
that? I
Lewis,
forget.
for teaching us French vocabulary."
That was Jordan.
Yeah.
That was Jordan.
Jordan, who remembered the French.
Well, thank you, Sandra, for filling in.
Yeah.
Always. We're a team.
Right. I don't know, can we all hear each other or not?
Well, unless you
Yeah.
have mute on. Yeah, they can hear, but we can't hear them if they have muted them.
Uh-huh. Okay. Who's
Y'all,
next?
it's great to see all of you, but I'm going to go take the girls home.
Okay. Good to see you, Pat.
Bye. Bye.
Bye, Pat.
Good to see you all, Nancy.
Everybody.
Everybody.
See everybody.
And Martha Albertson has changed her image a lot.
Really?
She had an automobile accident.
Oh.
sort of totaled her car. You pick a, what did you do?
See, she didn't hear you.
Can she hear me?
I can hear you. And I was just with her, and I'm telling you, don't feel sorry for her. You wait till you see what she's driving around in.
She,
I got a 2013 Mercedes red convertible.
I bet you she'll be driving it in the winter.
It's real.
We'll be down in the winter.
She looks very cool driving that car.
Mm-hmm.
She looks cool anyway.
All right.
Yeah.
Who said that?
hey, Martha, are you still bringing breakfast to the maintenance crew?
No, I don't think I'm allowed on campus at this point.
Yeah, probably
Something to
not.
look forward to.
Yes.
Yeah.
We could redesignate you as an essential visitor.
Worker.
We'd have to give my daughter to approve that I could get out. She's been holding me down and making sure I don't go anywhere or do anything.
Our
That's what
children certainly have to become protective, haven't they? Woo!
Called payback, Martha. Payback.
Well, she's doing all the cooking and the grocery shopping. That's okay with me.
That's payback too.
Dad, could you give us a word about David's story, how he's doing?
Yeah, I don't have any real specific information lately, except that I've heard from Drew Holgate that David had begun bicycling again a little bit.
Oh, wow.
So that was really encouraging.
Can you share with us what you're talking about?
David Story had a stroke at the end of last year. Not everybody knew, huh? And was in the hospital for a few weeks. It was pretty serious, I think. I'm not the best person to talk about it because I haven't been as in the loop as some of the other people, but Patience was out of town. David, as I've heard the story, recognized what was happening, was able to call for help, was taken to the hospital. And what I hear now, he's still not speaking, but Suzanne McWilliams is working with him on sign language to try to help him be able to express things more. He's, like I said, I heard he's been riding his bicycle some, so that's good. And that's what I know.
That's more than any of us, so thanks.
Yeah, obviously.
He was on campus, I guess about 4 weeks ago briefly. He just came to get some things and it was magical to see him.
Good.
He is trying to play the guitar a little bit. I know that's Drew went over there this weekend. Drew Holgate, for those of you that don't know, is one of our upper school triad teachers. And he was close with David and took his son, Aiden, who's in upper school, but had David as a teacher. And as far as I know, that's the first student that's gone to visit David. And they were able to hang out. Drew reports that David's, language is developing. Like, I've been there for speech therapy when he's had it, and he was learning the months and the days of the week. So his language capacity has been severely affected. Physically, you would think he's looks better than ever. I think he lost some weight while he was in the hospital, and so it's like all 72-year-old muscle. And he still laughs a lot, which is nice. Communication is minimal, but there are times when you feel like he is understanding what you're saying, and then there are other times where you think maybe he's just nodding. But Patience is taking really good care of him. The family that called the ambulance was the next door neighbors who heard him calling for help, and they are a Summit family. Right there in Ardmore, little Summit family with a junior K and a Eaglet. and they heard him. And I think the dad is a surgeon, maybe. I can't remember, the Chapmans. And they were the ones there to help him since, as Dak said, he was out of town. Or Patience was.
Good news.
Thanks, Jeff.
His music is on the radio every day here on the station. He wrote an A Day and a B Day song. So every day we play the A Day or the B Day song to remind people what day it is. And it's just classic dance.
That's so great.
It's just amazing.
Right. Jeff, physically, is he able to, type on the computer or to text, or how is he physically?
So physically, he's pretty strong. And I think he's riding his bike, maybe stationary bike. I think they put it on a trainer. And he did get out once and went driving around the neighborhood. And I don't think Patience like that at all. I don't think he would know exactly where he was. But that's David for you. Drew reported that he can write his name now. And
good.
When I saw him a few weeks ago, it was illegible. So that's good news.
Beverly, are you still on? She might not be.
Yes, she is.
Oh, okay. I can't. I'm on my iPhone and I can't see everybody. I want to know. She made. I want to know how her boys are doing. Beverly, tell us about your family. They're all grown.
Yes, they are very grown. Yes. Well, Sterling and Farah are still in Atlanta with their 2 boys. Our older grandson is 15, and he just got 15 years old, and he just got his learner's permit. So watch out, Atlanta. And the younger one is 11. They both went to Trinity School in Atlanta. I know many of you know Trinity School.
Yeah.
Which, when the first time I went to visit them at Trinity, I sighed a sigh of relief because I said, this is Summit. I'm good. So it was wonderful. So what is that? What is that, Jeff? Jeff?
That's Jeff.
Yeah. But the older Carter, the 15-year-old, is in Atlanta International School now. And August, the younger, is at West something. Anyway, new school. He has a new school this year. So I'm sure, I know Atlanta International, I'm very familiar with that, but I've not been to this new school yet because of the virus. So I need to check that out. But I'm sure they're doing fine. Brian, our younger son, is still in Atlanta. He and his love are doing fine. They both are attorneys with Duke Energy here. So everybody, Spain is doing fine. He's, he retired years and years and years ago, it seems. But he is teaching classes at UNCC, and he's doing arbitration and things like that. So we're fine. I miss you all. And it's so good to see all of these faces that I haven't seen in so long. I'm really pleased to be here. And Sarah, don't forget to let me know about things from now on, please.
Beverly, I agree with you about Trinity. I did an accreditation for them umpteen years ago and thought, okay, they're a little bit like Summit, a lot like Summit. They could be Summit. Yeah.
Yes, you walk in and you feel the love.
Yeah, you do.
Just like Summit.
Okay, last call.
I want to ask Jeff. Jeff, where are your girls now? Your girls.
So I've got Dorothy Salem Turner is a senior at Mount Tabor doing school from home. And then Elaine is 23 and she lives in Charlotte, North Carolina, like Beverly Spainhour. She lives in Dilworth in this cool apartment that I help pay for. And, but she has a job with Vanguard Financial, so she's starting to get paid. So
Yay!
Starting to see the end of that, but they're doing great. Thanks.
Dane, you've been awful quiet, uncharacteristically.
Muted.
I can't hear you.
He could be pretending. Don't ever. Henry, you've had lots of marriages in your family, haven't you? Or at least one, I think I heard.
Two. Yeah.
Two, yeah.
Yeah, Henry got married 2 years ago. He's a band director up at the Potomac School in McLean, Virginia. Married to his wife Erin a couple years ago. And William got married this past May amongst COVID. The big Montreat wedding turned into 10 people in my backyard.
Oh.
And which was absolutely wonderful. It was beautiful. And he and his wife are living down in Monroe, and he's working for just graduated from UNC Charlotte with an engineering degree, and he's working for Pike as an engineer. So, and Christina is a sophomore at UNC Asheville.
Oh my gosh, cannot be.
Yeah. Amazing.
It is.
Good.
Carolyn, All right. Simmons, how about Carolyn?
Way too quiet for this crowd.
Way too quiet.
Last call. Last call. Going once, going twice. Number of students, time of day started, and the class. I've had some awesome entries.
Where are we supposed to enter our answers?
In the chat, please, sir.
Oh,
Or send me an email directly.
I put mine in a maintenance request. Is that not right?
It depends on which will get there faster.
I'd vote for the maintenance request these days. They're pretty good.
I think.
Well, Sarah, I'm thinking that probably all of us approximated at least one correct answer. So will we receive accommodations?
You know, that
Trish,
sounds
I
like
thought you swore never to say that word again.
What, the A word?
Yeah.
that sounds like teacher talk for we want a lot of fairness in life.
I just wanted to remind everybody who might have been with us of the fabulous trips teachers took and Summit supported wholeheartedly. I saw more of the world than I otherwise ever would have, and with the most fun traveling companions in the whole world.
Amen.
Yes.
Yes. I wish we could do it again. I truly do.
You're here.
Yeah.
Yay, Deanna.
Mighty good trips, courtesy of, in part of Ann Johnston for organizing all of those.
Oh,
Absolutely.
And several of others.
To get it.
Carolyn was in Africa with us.
Africa, yes. A trip of a lifetime. Yep.
Yeah. Carolyn Simmons has plenty of family news to share, I believe.
Yeah.
Don't you?
Well, I
Gina was married a year ago in May, and on her first anniversary this year, she found out she is expecting a baby in January.
Ah,
So I'm going to become a grandmother for the first time.
It'll be fabulous.
And I'm so excited. My girlfriends who are they've got lots of experience being grandmothers. I guess probably a year ago, they came up with my grandmother name because, you can't just be grandma anymore. You have to have a zippy name. So I am Mary Carolyn. And so my girlfriend said, you should be Grand Mary. And so that's my planned grandmother name. And we found out about 2 weeks ago that Gina's going to have a boy. So we're very excited. I sold my house in May of this year, and I moved in with Gina and Jake. So I told Gina what a drag it was. You have your first anniversary and your mother's living in the guest room. So I'm currently looking for a house and living with Gina and Jake. And now I've got to get out of there soon before the baby gets there. So
Congratulations.
Thank you, Mary.
I wondered where the Grand Mary came from. I was curious about that.
Yes, I'm Mary Carolyn.
Curious too.
Yep, that's where that came from.
And lots of luck on keeping that name. We'll see what it turns out to be.
Totally. Whatever he wants to call me is fine.
I've got one name in Charleston and one name in Winston-Salem.
Yeah.
And you answer to both, I guarantee.
Absolutely. And may I say, I'm just so happy to be a part of this group today. This has been lovely.
Yes, me too. Sarah, thanks for all you do to keep us connected. We really do appreciate it.
Can I ask real quick, Jan?
Yeah.
Is Loma doing all right? Do you see her over there much?
Oh, Jan Shepherd.
Yes.
Not anymore. She and Art Bloom have been doing music here now for 5 years or so, since David Piner retired. And so Art was here all the time, and he'd bring Loma every time he came, and just really, I have not. Betty Sutton now resides here, but she's in the assisted living part, so I'm not allowed to, we can't visit. We're sort of locked down. We're in an independent house, so I don't see her much. But we try to visit once in a while outside if we can, get out there at the same time or something without anybody catching us. But she, she talks with the Loma, fairly frequently, I think. So I think I don't know anything different about her than, what I was seeing before when she was here. I think she is okay. She's slowing down a little bit, as you would expect, but not much for Loma. Her pace is still moving right along. So I think she's, as far as I know, she's okay though, physically.
Dan, I wanted to hear your grandmother report.
Oh, well, I have 2 grandchildren now. Caroline is 3 and is happily back in daycare with Harry, who is 1. And they are happily living in Darien, Connecticut now. They have decided that New York City is not the place they want to be under current conditions, so they've moved out and are loving having a backyard and swing set and all that. So thank you for asking. They're doing very well. Thank you.
Beverly Spainhour, can you hear me? I cannot leave the Zoom without telling you that sitting here looking at you brings me the memory of you coming to the classroom door to offer me the 3rd grade position. I don't think I'll ever forget your face that day coming to the door. So it just brings all those great memories back.
That was just a few years ago, right?
Just a few, just a couple.
Sarah, you better give out that prize.
Okay, drum roll. There were,
Hey.
on September 25th, 1933, 18 students, 8:45 a.m., and they went to an assembly.
They went to what?
An assembly.
Oh.
Sorry, that was kind of a trick question. But Heather Moore wins a copy of Escaping Dreamland.
Heather.
Yay, Heather.
Yay, Heather. Thanks for playing, everyone. You did so well.
That was fun.
Well, I'm going to sign off. It was wonderful to see everybody.
Absolutely.
I agree. Happy
Yes.
days.
Thank you, Sonia.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you, Sarah.
Sarah. Good to see everybody.
Hey, everybody. Love y'all.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye. Keep us posted anytime you can.
2021 in-person reunion.
Yes.
When we can
We'll look forward to it.
Okay.
Wear our favorite masks.
James Johnson.
Well, it's
I know.
Mary's husband.
Oh,
Oh, I see.
Jimmy Johnson?
It was Mary using her husband's
Oh,
computer.
I see. It was hard to say goodbye, but toodaloo.
Au revoir.
Oh, wow.
Bye.
See y'all.
Bye, Henry. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Yep.
Surely this isn't goodbye.
We'll see you again soon.
Arrivederci, or,
Yes.
you know,
Bonsoir. Bonsoir, madame.
bonsoir.
Is it just 3 of us left?
Yeah.
It always was like that, Nancy.
Yes, it was, Eileen. It's good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Bye, ladies. Take care. Be safe.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.